There's a video series or a thing YouTube is promoting right now through all of its top creators called Dear Me. And that's where folks, it's primarily women. I don't know why they are featuring just women in the series. Would it be okay to feature just men in a video series? I think that wouldn't be allowed. Dear Me. And the thing is, the question is, if you could go back and talk to yourself when you were younger, what advice would you give yourself? And I watched some of these, and the messages were pretty much the same across the board, and it was something to the reference of building up one's self-esteem, or convincing them that they are great, magical, words I heard, or wonderful, and that everything you're doing is great. And if you just believed in yourself, everything would be fine. A lot of people believe in themselves. I've met people that were incredibly destructive that believed in themselves. Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Pol Pot, Chairman Mao, they believed in themselves. But believing in oneself, is that all we need to do to become successful? Because it's just crazy. It's just a crazy premise, and you hear it all the time. Well, he's a good man, or he's doing a good job, or a good woman because he believes in himself. What does that? What does that mean? It means absolutely nothing. It is a very thought-provoking question. Dear me, if you could go back and talk to yourself, what would you say? And I thought about that today after watching some of those videos. And if I could go back and have a conversation with myself, I wouldn't. I wouldn't tell myself anything. I wouldn't change anything. Because who knows, that advice that you gave yourself could ultimately change, or would ultimately change, the person that God intended us to be. I worked many crummy jobs. I remember, I look back and think about when I was in my early 20s, in the middle of the winter, working excavating before I ran equipment, standing 12 feet, 14 feet underground in a ditch and mud and goop and rain gear, thinking, this is terrible. I'm absolutely in living hell in this job. And many jobs that I had, working as construction superintendent and traveling all over the place, and all of those things, I remember so many jobs. I just went from job to job to job, thinking, I'm wasting my time. I'm absolutely wasting my time here, and not enjoying the experience whatsoever. So I would give, the reason why there's a point here, I just don't, there's something in my mind that I want to say, and I have a hard time really focusing and getting on it, but I think it's this. I think it's, for those of you guys that are doing things that you don't like to do, let's say that you watch the videos and you really have a desire to get out into the country and to start a homestead, or get out of a job working in a cubicle or in an office, or something you just don't really like, and it's making your life miserable. And you're just hating it, and you're just dreading going there on Monday. The advice that I would give you is there may be a purpose for it. Because when I look back on all of those things that I did that I hated, whether it was working as an outboard motor mechanic and working as in construction and all these different trades, and I remember all the times I hated doing roofing, and I hated doing concrete, and I hated doing this. It was just terrible. All of that has turned out to be a blessing that I couldn't see then. Those things that I learned back then have given me the ability to do the things that God has called me to do now. So if you could go back and tell yourself something, which I wouldn't recommend doing it, I wouldn't do it, but the thing that you would want to tell them is to remember that this is not the end of your life. This is a step. This is something that you need to do to get you where you need to be. And who knows that dead-end job that you're doing, maybe you're working in management, or maybe you're doing concrete, something you hate, isn't something that you're going to need. That can't turn into be a great blessing early in your life. I look at my friends, many people that went right out of high school, went into college, and got a job with a trade or in a profession, whether it be an attorney or CPA, sorry, one specific thing, and they're working them, and they've been working that job for 20 years, and now they're reaching a point in their life where they want to change, but they don't know anything else. They didn't have the ability, they don't have the ability, or they're afraid that they don't have the ability to learn something new because they've done something for so long. So the blessing now that I see in those jobs that I didn't like, and going from different job and doing things that I thought were just not important, are so important now. Because I've had all of those experiences, those are all coming to bear here on the homestead. So this video probably makes absolutely no sense. I just felt really impelled to kind of address that and talk about that, because I think it's going down the wrong road to say that everything you're doing is all right. And if I could just talk to myself and tell myself to believe in myself, that's the only thing that matters, when that's just simply not true. It doesn't really matter at all. You know, this building oneself and believing in oneself is such utter nonsense, because when I watch these videos and a girl says that you are wonderful, a wonderful person, that you are magical, that you are amazing, we're not wonderful, magical, or amazing people all the time. Most of the time that we're not. I just think to tell myself that and to believe in myself, everything that I'm doing is great, and I'm on the right path, and I never do anything wrong, and I'm never selfish, I'm always looking out for the fellow man, is a lie. Because I have a pocket knife in my pocket that I paid $40 for, that I didn't need. I have a whole drawer full of knives that would work just fine, but I wanted this for myself selfishly. It's a selfish thing to do something like that if you don't need. Because I know of a neighbor who's losing their home. I know of a family in church that have to go to the food bank because they don't have enough to eat. But I can go and purchase this. I can take my family out and we can go spend $60 on a dinner that we don't need when we could eat at home, and not help someone, my neighbor or someone who's in need. Do I really need those things? Do I really, am I really a good person? You know, I don't know what to do with that question. It is. What do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think it would be a good idea to go back and talk to yourself, give yourself advice? Because now I'm here where I'm at, having the abilities to build this tree house, having the abilities to run the homestead, because of the things that I hated doing. That if in short-sightedness to say, you should have went out into college directly and got a career as an attorney or as a doctor, I wouldn't be able to do any of these things. And so that would be bad advice. Or let's say that I went back and I changed, told myself, you shouldn't get involved in this relationship with this girl because it's going to end badly. But that was that relationship that brought me to meet a particular person that ultimately brought me to meet Mrs. Wranglerstar. That one decision, that faithful decision, would have changed that. So I wouldn't do it. If I could go back and write a Dear Me letter, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all.